Are you wondering what your favorite wacky nerds are up to? Search for Campaigns of the Plains on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and make sure to follow and like us to keep up with all our content and news. You might also find exclusive content for fans only. Remember to catch us on YouTube every Friday at noon for a new episode of Campaigns of the Plains.
Hey everybody, this is out of character for the missing episode. I think it was episode...
70?
No.
80?
I think it was episode 80.
80?
Yes, 80.
That feels right.
So unfortunately, due to some technical issues, episode 80 will not be airing, unfortunately.
Unless you want to read lips. If you can read lips, we'll air it.
That would be an interesting take, I think.
Special bonus to anyone who can manage to accurately transcript the entire thing in the comments.
Oh, I mean,
Right.
even better if you can make it funnier. I mean,
Yeah, right.
more points to you.
Just put anything down.
Yeah, exactly.
Badly read lips.
Oh, yes. Love them. Anyway, so, in episode 79, the group had been told that they have an airship waiting for them to take them over to Sapphiros, which is the next intended target of the party. As many...
All roads lead to Sapphiros.
Yeah, all roads do lead to Sapphiros. Quite a few people have some business in Sapphiros, so...
Real quick, how painful was it with all of the trolling that we were putting out for? I think we.
I think we have to go to Sapphiros.
Because
You know what? Let's go over here.
Listen, guys, even if your party makes fun of it and says, "Oh yeah, we're totally gonna go," don't ever expect them to go that way, because for some reason there's still the possibility of them hijacking their airship and still taking it to another country or something.
Let's go with the mists, guys.
Yeah, good luck with that.
you know what? I'm down for retirement. Let's fuck this.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so they actually got introduced to their airship, and it was kind of this sleek, shiny metallic color, most of the airship was, and it had 2 thrusters on the back.
And it's made out of metal, so that it can't catch on fire.
It is made out of mostly metal, yes.
metal. So we can't...
Yeah, Milos.
Yeah. He's not here to defend himself this time, so, a poorly placed fireball can't just destroy the whole thing again.
True.
How the fuck did I get blamed for that, by the way?
Well, because the you that you were before the you that you are now
She did it.
Was on the ship trying to kill you and take his body back.
It's not my fault.
And ended up killing...
and ended up killing
Becky
and you multiple times. Well, almost killing you multiple times.
You did fly out the hull.
You did.
Yeah.
You went skydiving.
I think I was unconscious when I flew out, and then
You
woke up at some point
in midair, though.
in the air.
And then went unconscious again.
I don't want to,
We should watch that episode and take a shot every time you go unconscious.
There's a fun game for you guys to go back and watch our episode for.
Maybe we should make a bingo board for our games.
That'd be fun. Yes, I love that idea.
Anyway, so...
One of them should definitely be Milos Cast's Fireball.
That's when you finish your drink.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they got introduced to their state-of-the-art new ship. They also got introduced to their crew as well. So they have a full crew manifesting the
More
ship.
people that we have to keep alive. They're not making it back.
We plan on doing with this ship?
We barely, I don't know, we might need to crash it into something for
We need to
cinematic
make-
effect.
We should have people sign a waiver.
We should.
My goodness.
There is a high chance you will not survive this.
The survival rate for NPCs in our party.
The manner in which you die is we
Listen,
can't
girl.
guarantee. can't guarantee it will not be pink.
Ora is still alive,
Barely.
but he's still alive.
Okay, so these guys might not die, but they might have an old dragon try to crawl out of their skin.
Yikes.
Oh, maybe there's a higher chance of having something put into your body than there's dying.
Oh, shit.
We're going full aliens now, guys.
Yes, chest bursters everywhere.
Anyway, the ship, state-of-the-art ship, and the captain had asked them to name it, as is convention, since it is brand spanking new, right off of the dock. Bad luck to not fly without a name, so the
It's a
group
good thing
had...
it's not bad luck to journey together as a party without a name, because we still haven't come up with one.
It is true.
We got a few.
Those fuckers.
That's probably what everyone actually knows us as.
Have those fuckers been in this city?
Right.
You know exactly who you're talking about.
I know just the people.
But yeah, they christened, after much debate actually, they christened the ship the Mirage. So, they now have an airship named the Mirage.
It's fitting since we crashed the first one in a desert.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that implication. Alright.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so they had left dock and had been traveling westward to Sapphiros. The first day, Ellie had actually introduced the group to the item that she had procured from the circus.
I won it. I told everyone that I won it in a game or something. I won it at the circus. I did not elaborate on how I obtained it. I don't think any of us elaborated on how any of us obtain any of the things that we have. And Becky didn't even mention hers, so... We've got a monkey paw.
I don't know what I got. What did I give up? I forgot.
A bow. And
Yeah, the bow.
the arm things.
The arm. I was like, man, I got rid of something good, and it was the arm things. That's right.
But, so she had placed it on the door in her room and had conjured a magnificent mansion with the doorknob on the inside and had given everybody rooms and places to...
I also like to point out a very important story part Josh forgot.
Oh.
That all of Din's pets now have custom leather collars with their names on them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my bad for forgetting that one.
And we all bought
How the
hats. For
hell?
some reason, I feel like we
And
all bought
hats.
hats.
How
Yeah,
dare you.
because we were going on a ship and we
Hats.
needed hats.
Especially Becky, who got the
biggest-
giant
the
Lady
biggest hat.
Lady Demes.
Domistress.
Domistress, yes.
That big mommy.
Big mommy
Big
hat.
mommy.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, that was mostly the episode, guys.
Din might be cursed. We skipped over
yeah.
that, but we messed with the monkey paw, and Din might be cursed.
You don't know.
I'm a little concerned that she might be cursed. Mostly because I think you made that item in another campaign before.
I think that people are going to have to find out
But
next
yeah,
season.
watch and follow for season 2 to see how cursed Din is. It's just one more cursed person. in
We
the
found out what
pile.
was in it, right, though?
Nope.
No?
I told you afterwards.
No,
No, not the
in the crystal. Yeah, you did.
Oh.
It was one of those
Yeah.
little onion knights, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was Madragora, one of the ones from
Yes.
the little onion one.
Yeah. So,
Onion Prince.
Yep, Onion
so
Prince.
the score, if we're keeping track on people in the party that are cursed, is now
You don't know that.
well. It's actually gone down by 1 because Milos got rid of his curse.
That's
Oh,
fair.
yeah.
So currently it's just 1.5 with Becky because Becky's kind of questionably maybe cursed.
This is out of character. So how many are you cursed?
No, he's just him that he was before he was the him that he is now. So he's just body
I mean,
swapping.
I guess from a
Have
certain
you seen
point
Face
of view,
Off? That's
you
kind
could
of
say
that's kind of Marquise. He's kind of Face Off.
it's more like the soul is possessing the wrong body.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole time. Keep up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not cursed
No,
anymore.
you just have half a soul.
I have a portion of my soul missing. Yes,
Damn.
pieces. I like to think it looks like Swiss cheese now.
Cursed.
You got a Swiss soul?
Cursed.
Yes. Eric's character is going through.
100%
100% cursed.
Cursed.
Yeah.
Kind of undead, but alive, but was dead, soul and wrong body. Milos, I'm pointing where Milos would be.
Curse removed.
Curse removed. Becky
Brought back from the void
brought back from the void,
after having spent years.
and I think maybe no longer specifically cursed, affected by Diabolos. Because I kind of made a pact with him to get her soul back, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diabolos.
So I think his ties are cut with her now.
Yeah, Diabolos had severed the pact.
So
Because you guys had made a new promise to
and
him.
Peggy does have a pact with somebody else now, but I don't know if that's really a curse or just an agreement.
God, I owe
a
him a favor
contractual.
still.
You do owe Kepka a favor.
That's right.
Okay.
It's okay because
We haven't seen him in a while.
I made a pact with Diabolos, but in a less cursed way.
yeah.
And I wanted, like, Marquise was so mad. So mad.
I just watched that episode recently.
That Ellie made
was a
that
good
choice. Why was he so mad? I want to know.
I don't even remember.
He was like, no, you can't do this. We're not going to do this. Don't do it. Like, he was so mad.
Well, it was because you were technically bringing a portion of Diabolos from the void into your world.
And into me, like, I was taking on a pact with him, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, was that something that, I feel like that was, it was more like he felt like it was the wrong choice because that was potentially a catalyst for bringing everything that happened there into our, like...
Well, then Ellie will be the cause of the destruction and not Becky, and Ellie is okay with that so that Becky is not in a bad place. Ellie is very much like...
Stop.
I'm sorry, I'm making noise. I'm sorry. It's crumbs. Ellie is very much, still self-sacrificial for her friends. She'll like, I'll do it.
Yeah, I think it was really just like, this guy, this Diabolos character is why everything really went to shit there, and why would we want to allow that potential problem to come with us?
But it's not him I'm summoning, it's just his, I guess, essence. So far as
I saw a little smirk. What was that?
What?
What was that?
What?
Do you have something to say?
No.
Also, Ellie is concerned about whatever happened to Shadow Realm Ellie to turn her into a crystal.
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, right?
Maybe
And
you just continue
the bad
loop.
part is that I know, because I read my character sheet, or my class sheet, but Josh told me I couldn't say anything.
Nope.
Oh, damn.
That was already spoilers, man. That's
It's a little bit of a out of character spoilers, but not
Hey, it's the name of the show.
yeah, but not a full spoiler. So I know because I read my character stuff. Hey, a question from the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm concerned because I know, but Ellie doesn't know. So she's concerned too because like, how did that happen? Kind of thing. Also, like, how does that happen? Like, how do you turn yourself into an Aeon? Basically, is what Ellie looked like she did, right? So into a faith, right? So how does that happen? Because the faiths are not, so far as I'm aware of or that Ellie is aware of, were human beforehand. The little people in the crystals were, but like, who was she connected to, or did she turn herself into basically a god? Right? That's my wondering.
Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, the Faith are just a catalyst for
the god,
for the primals.
For the primals. But what primal was Ellie tied to when there were crystals for all the primals in existence? Did she make herself a primal? That's my, like, what happened?
I still
Who
have
was she tied to?
no clue who sent Marquise back.
You don't, like, in your backstory either?
I purposely left that out because, well, one, I don't know shit about
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. And I have tried to do research, and I'm still just like,
As somebody
I turn into full-body soup.
As somebody who has left a wide open backstory for Josh to fuck around with, it is a dangerous game to play.
There's been some things in other campaigns.
Paige left her whole backstory up to Josh once, and he made her a time traveler. that
had no memories or anything. That's
a multiversal time traveler.
A multiversal time traveler that didn't have memories of any of her other...
There's no backstory. I mean, well, there wasn't a backstory, but there's a reason for the backstory.
Yeah.
After that. So.
Yeah. And she kept seeing all of us dying in various different ways. It was quite traumatizing.
Oof. She was a fun character.
I love seeing, I loved when you gave me the hints all the time. I was like, that's fun. What should I do?
That was the first time Josh homebrewed a Final Fantasy class, because you made an astrologian.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a hybrid between one that you found that had already been created, right? And then Josh kind of morphed it to fit a little bit better.
Yep.
Balance it out a little bit.
I don't know. I gave you, like, the backstory on who he was
in life.
Before.
Yep.
The you were before, but the you are now, obviously.
Yeah. So the fun part is, I've given you tidbits of information on who, or I suppose what, may have had a hand in it. Tidbits, mind you, just little crumbs. But I'm really excited.
Before I do.
I'm actually no, they won't, because it's not a huge Final Fantasy tie-in. No. This is just backstory stuff. I'm playing around with you, so. But I'm excited for the next season because in this past season we've dealt with Becky's arc a little bit longer than I had intended since she went to the Void, and she had a little finalization too, a little bit into her story with killing her dragon sire, Osoroshi. So,
and bitch slapping the shit out of her mom.
Well, no, she never touched her.
She didn't. She gave her a firm slap across the cheek.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. But then she finds out that she has a father who may or may not be alive yet, who is also in Sapphiros, so there's a little bit of that for her.
We delved a little bit with Milo.
We did a lot with Milos.
We did a lot with Milos' backstory, for sure, yeah.
Yep. Which, everything to do with his actual parents.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun one with Milos. I wish he was here to talk about it, because he had this kind of backstory in mind that he was just treated really well by his aunt for whatever reason, and I was like, oh no, but I have a reason, and I've got a pretty big one going on, so
I loved his whole little arc, and then we got to meet his real parents alongside him, and we got to save his father and save his mother and save his aunt and uncle that are his adoptive parents.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. I really liked Milos' little arc and his little city. Really
and we
cool.
found out that he put in his backstory, he was like, just kind of in passing, he was like, may or may not have had a sister that I didn't really know about, and I was like, but you're gonna.
I like the little tie-in with his sister. I'm excited to see where that goes. That's interesting, yeah.
Be some plot seeds going forward, but I feel like we dealt a little, actually quite a bit with Ellie in the forest, but
it's funny. So I didn't give you a backstory for Ellie of which she's on this grand quest or she's got these big things that she needs to accomplish. It was mostly she doesn't want to be a hero and she doesn't want to be here, but she feels like she needs to be. That was her whole thing. She didn't want to be the hero. She wanted to cheer on somebody else that wanted to be the hero, which was Reese. Reese wanted to be the hero. He wanted to do the big things.
And he is a hero in a way.
And he is a hero in a way, but somebody else needed to take up the mantle of, there are no other summoners that are trying to stop what's happening, basically, from what she's aware of. So now she has to kind of be the hero, which is why she has that complex all the time of I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do this. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, that's actually really played out rather well, I feel, though. Because, it's... I remembering now some of those early moments, right? And, I guess I didn't think about it until now that you mentioned it, but it really did seem that way. You were just sort of thrust into this
Mhm.
Like, oh shit, I guess I'll do it then.
Yeah, that's basically that, and that was literally like the backstory I gave Josh is the person who has to be the hero that didn't want to do it, that doesn't want to be here, doesn't want to do it, wants to she wants to live in her forest grove and she wants to garden. That's what she wanted to do. She went through summoner training so that she could manage the little tiny temple in the little tiny clearing that she lived in. That's it. That's all she wanted. It's not what happened. That's not how her life was
Quiet
going.
life rarely pan out.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like her whole backstory is really tied into the overarching story because we're dealing with summoning stuff and crystals. It's not really her backstory, but she's needed for that kind of thing.
She's pretty pivotal.
Yeah, we're fucked if she dies. Who's gonna get us into the temples? Breaking in.
But yeah, I mean, we've done quite a few stories, but it's kind of awesome to. I've been planning out our next season, so it'll be interesting to find out more about Marquise's shadowy figure that's been following him and why he's being hunted and why he was thrust into that body.
We killed him
And
once. We can kill him again. We killed him in the void, anyway.
Oh yeah,
Technically,
kind of.
Otherworld Betty did the final.
Yeah.
I'm also, we got a nibble of Din backstory.
I was like, there hasn't been a whole lot
Yeah,
for me.
there was a nibble, and I want more. Because
Yeah.
I love her, her parents give me, Midwestern parent energy.
I like how
yeah.
my backstory is kind of I think it was pretty vague, and then I was like, it's developed more as we go. I didn't have her as someone who couldn't read until midway. Yeah, that wasn't planned.
She can read in her native tongue.
Yeah.
She
so I
just
had to
can't
listen
read.
to that.
She just can't read common.
Yeah,
which is a fun character trope. I
Mhm.
mean, you don't see it very much, you know.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
that happened mid-session. I was like, oh, she can't read.
Some
now.
of the best character personality decisions that I have ever come up with for characters that we've played
They're always on the
are
fly.
always on the fly. 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so in the last little bit of arc, we also got to do a little bit with, find out a little bit about maybe what's drawing Marquise to Sapphiros with the mention of a family with the last name Ravendal. So
We don't know that though, because he didn't mention it.
he has
to us.
not mentioned that
He
yet.
just said that he also has a reason to go to Sapphiros, so I'm interested to see that tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
LA doesn't really have. Well, LA has. There's a reason for the overall arcing story that we need to go to Sapphiros.
mhm.
Personally, LA, the only reason she wants to go is because the author of the Marquise books lives there.
That's a
And
personal reason.
She
yes.
has some stories to give this person, and so that the 7th book can begin production.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I am excited though for you guys to visit Sapphiros, just because viewers, I guess, on a personal issue, I had medical issues that have been figured out and medicated now. So I feel like my storyboarding is a little more cohesive, so we can get a little more juice out of this world, so to say. So I'm actually really excited for you guys to tackle Sapphiros, because there are some really fun areas and a lot of lore that I've built into Sapphiros here that hopefully you'll be able to explore. But I'm also excited for everybody's character journey here, especially we have, like you said, Din, a little bit with her family there. Maybe something's going to come up to deal with.
You didn't need to go to Sapphiros for anything, did you?
No.
Oh.
No one's really delved into why Din is playing with you guys.
Well,
I've just been hanging around.
I just
I think
assumed that.
Din's just this is too much fun.
Ellie
Ellie
met Din first, and they bonded over the desire to go wrestle a bear.
That's right.
And so Ellie's assumption is we're traveling, and Din wants more animals, and you can find animals while traveling. So
we it's been mentioned a couple of times, but we haven't really delved too far into it. But yeah, Din's been pretty quiet with the backstory stuff.
yeah, that's true.
It's okay.
That's all right. I have things to bring that forward in this next arc, so
Josh
it'll be
doesn't
fun.
let anybody stay silent for long.
Oh no, that's That's what D&D's for, folks. You gotta branch out.
I will say I'm interested to see, like, I don't know what anybody else's backstory is, obviously, but I'm interested to see how you took the backstory I gave you and did it so opposite to how in my head I thought that it would go. Because, like, part of what I wrote was like, oh, well, she's traveling currently because she's looking for Reese. I thought we would find Reese halfway through the campaign. We found Reese episode 2, and then he sacrificed himself into a crystal. And I was like, well, what is Ella doing now? Because she's not here to go on an adventure. She's here to find her friend and go home. Fuck.
Oh, I've got plans for that. But I also have plans for Asher. I mean...
Yeah. I love all of Asher's, like, green word stuff. I'm really interested to hear, like, is that his family specifically? Is that, like, some Viera have it, some don't?
It is a some Viera have it, some don't.
Okay.
In our world, materia makers are few and far in between, and materia require the life stream to be born, so to speak.
With the life stream being all wonky from whatever it is that the church is trying to do with it, is it making it... Will it make it harder to make materia? Is it making, like, I don't know, Asher hasn't really said any, like, experience
There is something else that is going to make it very difficult for Asher to do anything with.
Well, like, he's cursed.
He's not cursed. He has a cursed blade.
That's just semantics.
He's cursed. It was attached to him.
But
he has an attachment. There we go. We need to call an exorcist.
But I don't feel like Asher wants to be exorcised.
I don't think he does either, and that's even more concerning.
Who does? Who really wants to have to wake up?
I'm also a little
Right.
bit concerned. Like, this thing is, it feels like it's like attaching itself to him, to his soul, to his being. Like, what happens if we try to remove it? Will it kill him? Like, will it kill him if it stays attached to him?
Does,
No, listen.
Does Asher even want to have it
listen.
unattached to him?
I live with this man, and I was watching a different, like, I think it was Critical Role. I was watching,
Maybe.
and Josh was like,
Oh my god.
and I was like, go out of the room. Don't listen anymore. Don't think about whatever you were thinking about. And he does that several times a week, where he just is like, I've got an idea for D&D. I'm concerned.
It's hard too, because I have the type of personality that wants to tell you all of these direct points. I'm having a hard time not telling you guys right now.
I was like, you two hardly any fucking, like...
He doesn't tell me anything.
What?
No, he doesn't. And it's so I can tell that it's hard for him, because
It's
sometimes I'll
super
come
hard.
home and he'll be like, I had the best idea for D&D. I've been working on it all day. And I'm like, tell me about it. And he's like, I can't.
What?
No.
Yeah, like, I tell you guys, like, anything, and I know the other person's heard it by, like, an hour later.
Yeah.
No, he's so good. He's so
Wow.
good. He won't tell me
Alright.
anything.
It kills me. It kills me because I need somebody to talk to about it, and I have to wait until we actually get it in the episode for you guys to be like, oh shit, because I love that. I love that getting
And
that from
then
you.
after it happens, after, like, we do
Then I gush.
something or we go somewhere, or, you know, we're not going back to somewhere, he's like, here's what you might have missed, or here's some other ideas that I had, if he's not going to put it in later. So I get it afterwards, but that doesn't help me.
Sometimes the car ride back.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yes.
The commute back.
Yeah,
Yep.
the commute back.
Thanks for tuning in to Campaigns of the Plains channel. Catch new material every Friday on YouTube, and make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Now, on with the show.
Yeah, I am excited for this next season. I'm also excited, the progress that we've made, I feel like, with everybody but Asher having custom classes. So I hope...
Asher feels like it feels to me like Eric was like, I want to play like a D&D class, so it's not like a lot, like he wanted to play fighter, right?
Yeah.
And he's taken like a subclass and stuff, but it felt like you were like, I'm gonna make that Final Fantasy vibes.
Oh, I mean, we're in Final Fantasy World. I have to give him
But
something.
I love that you made like what he is, which is just a fighter, which is a D&D class, make it feel more Final Fantasy in the Final Fantasy world. I really enjoy that. because it feels like it could be a Final Fantasy character with his like materia smithing and his dark armor and his cursed blade, and you just make him a Dark Knight, aren't you?
It's just like an armory over there.
Yeah.
All of his things that he's collecting.
Yeah, that's just Eric though. that's why I was like, you know, what would be really good for him.
Energy.
Yeah, he's Magpie. But that's why I wanted to give him the blacksmithing stuff, is because like it would tie into that Eric's personality of wanting to.
The one with the bag of holding too, isn't
he
it?
Is, yeah.
Perfect.
Collects all the weapons, doesn't turn them into materia. Just get rid of it.
Remembers that he had the weapon after we needed something. Like when he messaged us in the chat, when he was like, I had a light weapon.
Yeah. It wasn't until after the fight with Osiroshi that he remembered he has the Dawnbringer hammer. So
I remember that, and we were like, "Oh shit!"
Meanwhile, here I am. Like every time we get into a fight, like I look through all my magical items. I look through all of my spells, like a crack addict, like trying to find something.
And yet you still summon Anima during the Osiroshi fight.
Yeah, I know, because I forgot that elements are a thing. I don't know. Make bad choices. My reasoning behind that wasn't like I didn't process, Anima does darkness. I was like, Anima's my highest hitting summon currently. Mm-hmm. The other summons that I have, their hits are a little lighter. They don't have as much damage. So I'm like, this is a big dragon, big damage. I didn't think I want to smash. I've got the mentality of a barbarian, as not playing a barbarian, but the barbarian mentality is just who I am.
The barbarian
personally.
brain kicks in.
Yes, so I think big damage smash, and that's what I do.
Unfortunately, didn't pan out to big damage.
It did not.
And I believe Anima got unsummoned.
Anima just got murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of damage to Anima. But
what did you guys think of the Osiroshi fights?
In my head, it was like Osiroshi crawling around on two legs, wiggling his little booty stump that was just the Araha hanging on the back of it and flapping around.
Oh my god.
That's what my head it was looking like, so it was comical in my head. But the fight was cool. We fought a dragon in the Dungeons and the Dragons.
Yeah. You guys' first dragon.
No, we fought another dragon before because we got the scales.
You didn't fight him.
Oh no, we made him our friend.
Yes.
That's what we do.
You rescued him from a circus while traveling.
Yeah. That was. I thought it was cool. I was stressed the whole time, but it was cool.
The hints toward the light.
God went way over your guys' head. It's like, yeah, and then this light breaks through. There's a big light. There's a light over here.
Listen, we're dead.
It's all D&D players, by the way.
In my defense, I was not medicated.
You did get yeeted. You got yeeted straight to the bottom of hell.
Yeah.
All of our defenses. There's just a lot of ADHD at this table.
I think I knew, but I think the wolf died, and I was like, well, I have to hit him then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that was my, like, this should happen.
Yeah.
But Din is not a smart person, and she's aggressive, so she's just gonna go hit him.
Din has barbarian mentality.
Oh, yeah, that's hard for me, because I'm, like, mage and, like, support, and I'm trying to play, like, an opposite character, so, it's so hard to play aggressive.
That's how I feel, because I'm an aggressive player, and I am playing a mage.
Yeah, we flipped.
So
we
it is so
flipped.
hard for me not to run in there with Ellie and be like, smash!
Like, I'm a quiet person. It's hard to play someone aggressive.
And I am an aggressive person. It's so hard to not be aggressive.
I guess
Ellie's so
I don't
timid.
even know that Marquise would really have been aware of those sorts of things, and would that I don't know if he would have really been aware that light would have actually been useful, or that particular source of light. I mean, yes, he's intelligent, but I've even said on multiple occasions, I don't know shit about magic.
That's fair.
So
you're not magic guy. You are a science guy.
Yeah, he's not he knows some arcane things, but that I was like, I don't know if it's something that he would really be that aware of. So
I love how your character the things that you can do and make are similar to spells that magic users can cast, but you're like, no, you guys, you don't understand. You don't need to do weird magic things with these components. You can just put them together and it'll have the same effect in a potion.
Yeah.
That's what I do love about the Alchemist, though, is and for all of these classes, ladies and gentlemen, we will have our first set out on Patreon for you guys to be able to, at some point in time, be able to
yes, that's
make
one
your
of my
own.
questions from the TikToks. People have asked, can we play these classes?
You will be able to play
these homebrews?
You will be able to play this homebrew. I want to balance it a little bit more. That's why I'm glad that nobody has really multi-classed, so we can test out these classes for you before I put them out there all willy-nilly, because there's one thing that I hate, and that's like either super duper OP classes or super duper underpowered classes. I like to find a nice balance. It's not always going to happen, but
Some classes are innately kind of
some.
overpowered in D&D anyway.
Yeah, the one I'm having a real hard time balancing right now is Black Mage, just because, I mean, in
Becky
Final
can
Fantasy,
put out-
it's a damage class. Yes,
Yeah.
Becky can put out a bunch of damage, but at the
But
same
it's okay.
time...
There are classes in regular D&D that they're made to do damage. That
Yep.
is their job. They even spellcasters, and that is why they are glass cannons.
But at the same time, I want Becky to feel like she's... I want the Black Mage to feel like it's not just a copy of another already happening mage, because D&D already has a lot of mages, and it's real hard to flavor a mage that is almost purely damage, when at least some of the other mages in D&D have some utility. Some utility, maybe not a lot. So
Yeah, the black mage is not there for utility.
no, it is not.
It is there to hurt you.
Yep.
That is it.
Yep, and we'll work it around. We'll get to it. But I feel like we've made some breakthroughs. I feel like Summoner is in a very good place. There might be some changes to stat blocks for summons later down the road. But basically, the abilities I feel like are in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I feel like all of the abilities are in a good spot. The only thing that I had feedback for you was that some of the first summons that I get, that you created, feel as we're in that like mid-level range of levels starting to get up there, and they don't feel like they do a lot of damage.
Mhm.
And they are going to evolve in a few levels to a higher tier where they will do more damage, but I almost wonder if either that should happen sooner or if their damage in the first classes should level with them, but that's something we can play test and work out.
Yeah, it's we've been making these basically subclasses of already existing D&D classes, so we've been trying to put them into D&D Beyond for ease of people accessing them.
But he also has fully fleshed out classes. Well, not fully fleshed out, but you did build classes with subclasses for each of these originally.
Originally, yes,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of work. So
A lot of management.
a lot of management, and then also there's a lot of like coding issues and D&D Beyond coding issues that you have to think of, and that's big old pain in the ass.
My pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I think
7 HP pets.
I think that is the common issue that we have, is that the summons and the pets,
You all would
something is
pick
not balanced.
the classes
Yeah.
that have their own pets. You and
Milos too.
Milos
Yeah.
as well has
Pets.
things that he can. Yeah,
Yeah.
pets is the theme of half
Josh,
the party.
When we decided we were going to do the Final Fantasy campaign, Josh was like, "Here are all the classes that I have the fully classes built for, and here are some of the other ones that that you could pick from. If you want to pick, you can pick the D&D classes if you want to." And almost all of us picked a 14 or a Final Fantasy subclass or class, and almost all of us actually picked the most difficult ones. Nobody picked a fighting class.
Yeah, no,
That
not
were
really.
easier to put together than having to come up with
You want the
waste
unique
magic
stuff,
words.
man.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
D&D.
fair. It's
I almost did pick
D&D
Dragoon
basic
because
class.
that's my main on 14, but I thought I jump around every day in 14. Let's play something different.
mhm.
I don't like Summoner 14. Okay, I'm sorry.
The rework's amazing. You need to play it. Anyway.
Oh, wait, have you played the rework?
No.
No, I haven't played the rework yet. I might like it after I play the rework. You guys haven't gotten there yet.
It's got
But
some
yeah,
melee.
Ooh, melee. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, basically that. And I think Milos is going to be on that same kind of area where we might need to play around with stat blocks. But at the same time, I feel like he's also in a pretty good place now that we've hammered down what those do. Being able to summon the Luopan and just have that be able to buff you or, give you defense, give you offense before even manifesting it is a nice touch on that Geomancer class. So,
what's the subclass that you struggled the most with creating?
honestly, there was a lot of work for all of the classes, except for the two classes that have been giving me the most fucking trouble are Alchemist and Black Mage. So
I'm not really surprised.
I didn't know which way I wanted to go with Alchemist because D&D already has so many potions and items that they could be using that it felt more D&D than it did Final Fantasy, and I want these classes to feel Final Fantasy. So, with this most recent rework, we didn't have, like, I would make items, like, based on kind of a tier system, and I would give those to you from time to time. So that's why if you guys go back and watch older episodes, I will give them the descriptions for items. And I thought, man, that's a lot of management, and it's not enough rule structuring, I really think. So that's why we went back and we reworked it now. And oh my god, I'm going to tell you right now, Christian, the first two iterations I had of the rework were god awful because
every time I came home, he was like, I think this is the one. And then the next day he'd be like, no, that was trash. This is the one.
It was literally like 6 hours of work, like out the window twice or three times, because I had this whole Excel sheet set up because I was actually going to follow Final Fantasy X's mixing stylizations, where you would have been able to like just mix like random ingredients to make a certain thing, or bigger ingredients or potions to make another thing. But I was like, why am I giving these things rule structures when these things already exist? So it was like this Excel sheet that was like almost to the max of what Excel sheets could hold. And I was like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this? Because this is too much information. And I was like, man, I know Christian loves management, but I feel like this might be a little too much.
So on my end, before we did the rework, it was really getting to a point. Like I had several different things set up to try and manage this, where I had a list of ingredients that I had to keep track of. I had a list of my formulae that I had to keep track of, and how many of those had I crafted. Did I put them in the bandolier or the potion deliverance apparatus?
That's still something you have to keep track of, though, because
Yeah,
those are magical items.
But see,
Christian's over here.
stacking those on top of what can I make? Can I make it? What do I need to buy?
Yep.
Christian's over here playing a full-on video game
Yeah,
with
I mean,
It's like, holy shit.
it was unwieldy at the beginning.
And then there was just me and Paige over here flipping through our card catalog. of
So like, every
It's
time you get to
everywhere.
me in combat, I'm like,
I don't know.
I'm still scrolling. Hold on. I don't know yet. I can't figure it out.
Where's the word for it?
Yeah.
I'm missing one ingredient. Do you anybody have any?
He used an Excel sheet for his Excel sheet.
Yes. But yeah, no, the very first rework I had, I was using that mixology sheet, and I was like, no, this is too much. This is, like I said, it was 200, 300 different mixings
I feel
of
like
things.
we
And it was
should superimpose the math meme above Christian's head in all of the old episodes while he's sitting there figuring things out.
But yeah, no, the first rework was that giant thing. And then, or actually, that was the second rework. The first rework, I was like, what I was going to do is I was going to do a little bit of the, I looked at Final Fantasy XI's mixing sheet for a second, and that was kind of cool because it was like, okay, this is element. So you got all of the elements, and then here is a body, spirit, mana, and something else, and it was like, you mix these together, they make these things. And I was like, oh, that's pretty simple. and we could just, use a spell slot to make it a higher tier. That's not bad. But then I realized that, like, the list was actually longer. It was like body, spirit, pets, armor, weapon, and then the list went this far along, even though the elements were like this far along.
Did you also like incorporate which way you have to face when you're making the potion?
Yeah, no,
And what time
none
of
of that.
day?
Yep,
What
no.
color is the moon?
Yeah, no, none
what
of that.
month is it? And what continent you're on? That's 11.
Okay.
So now you've talked about all the iterations.
Wow.
How does it work now?
So yeah, then the second one was the giant worksheet, and I was like, no, fuck this. This is too much. So I threw that shit out the window, and then now we actually have I have a set tier of potions that he can make. So the alchemist class is just like regular alchemist class in D&D. It is a subclass of artificer. So the artificer is a half class, so they'll have spell slots up to 5. So the nice thing now with this one is that now Christian can manage what potions he makes at the beginning of the day. So the rules with the potions are he uses his spell slots already before combat for the day, or even before a long or short rest. He can make those potions ahead of time. So the nice thing about the potions is they kind of do similar things as certain magics. However, they're a little bit weakened, but the benefit of that is that they cannot be canceled. They cannot be dispelled because they're not magical effects. He's using his magic, like a little bit of that arcane knowledge to be able to mix those ingredients ahead of time to produce a magical effect, but it is not magic in nature. So he makes those things ahead of time. They can't be dispelled. They can't be countered. It is a physical thing that happens.
And
So
he
it's a
uses
physical
it through
reaction.
the bandolier. It can
And it's still magic anyway.
turn us into mammoths.
Well, the effect comes from the bandolier, not the potions.
Can turn us
So
into
how are you doing
mammoths.
off ingredients then? Or are there
What's that?
ingredients?
So just like spells in D&D, there are components to it. I've actually based those components off of Final Fantasy XIV's components for similar spells. So it is component based. It is not something he needs to keep track of, or anybody needs to keep track of. If you're not using that, he just needs to put a certain portion of gold towards it. So
But I love when spells have components because then you can make it, like, flavor it. Kind of like how Sapphire used to, like, feed the components. Like, here,
There
eat
are a
this.
few things that I know, or that are in my list that I know how to make, but I don't. I haven't touched on yet because we haven't reached a point where I've seen the ingredients.
Or it would make sense that you would know it.
Well, so for example, there's a few potions that require feathers from birds that, relate to fire. I'll let you all, you run your imagination however
We've seen
you
a phoenix. We've seen a phoenix.
please, but,
The bird girl has one.
no.
Oh no, she had a phoenix feather on her. I
Yep.
thought she had a phoenix. She let it out fly with
That
her.
was not a phoenix.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Oh.
Din had a phoenix statue
Oh.
that she had used to resurrect Asher when he had come back to life.
Yeah, but it failed.
No, he
Shit.
came back to life.
No, mine failed.
Yours-
What?
Well, yeah,
Well, your
He came back to
check-
life, but my check failed.
Your check
Yeah.
failed, but he came back to life.
He did come back to life, so
Yeah.
it was part of an overall
an infinite
success.
supply of
We lost a phoenix.
He did. And Josh will never give us another one.
valuable resources.
Valuable resource.
But yeah, no. So
But
I
you know
haven't.
what? We have a shoe belt. now.
We have a shoe bill.
I don't think those are going to be useful for me.
Oh.
We'll find out.
But yeah, some of the things, some of the components I actually had to come up with myself because they're items that exist in Final Fantasy, but they don't exist in 14. So I've had to come up with some of the ingredients, and I'm trying to look up like what one of the ingredients are. I have all of the ingredients listed. And the really awesome part is, just as an example here, I have a potion of mind that Christian can make beforehand. So this was another thing in the giant list, is that I had each different effect as a different potion on that giant list, but I've condensed the 3 mind stats down to just 1 potion, because otherwise you have 3 at this level, then you'll have 6 at the next, or 9 at the next level, and then it splits off and it gets into a giant fucking headache.
I feel like Christian would have to have an Excel spreadsheet
Yeah.
with highlights,
I
with
was
tabs.
originally going to just make a fucking app.
Well, you won't have to now.
It
So
was
many
going
spell
to be so much
components
easier to
That
keep
he
track.
designs an app for it.
But yeah, just so basically, as a little nibble for what you might expect in Patreon content later on, if you do pick up The Alchemist. So it is just a potion of mind. It is a first level potion. So when he creates the potion, he can pick one of the cognitive attributes that will be fortified, either intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. The target of the potion gains advantage on saving throws and ability checks of the chosen cognitive attribute for the next 6 rounds. Once the effects of the potion dissipate, the target gains disadvantage on the chosen cognitive attribute for the next hour. So it is one of those, like, it's a drug, guys. It's a drug.
Woo.
So
Like when you haste somebody.
exactly.
Yeah.
Did establish that I was Big Pharma pretty early on.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you did,
So,
yeah.
But so basically, he needs to have made, so he does have cantrip level potions that he doesn't have to waste time on, and he can just have one of each just at the ready at any point in time that he takes the rest and makes them. But basically, he needs one of those weak potions of minds, and he needs an Epsilon accelerator, which is a couple of different parts from what we call wavekin, or things that live near bodies of water. So he needs to have either a wavekin blood for intelligence, a wavekin shell for wisdom, or a wavekin scale for charisma. So,
That's way more specific than I thought you would be.
huh?
I thought that's way more specific than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking maybe well, I don't want to ruin your stuff, but what if you get a material from a monster and be like, this is a tier 1 damage ingredient, or hey, I pulled this feather, this is a tier 1 healing ingredient, or a utility.
So
ingredient.
that's the next table I will have to make. Unfortunately, alchemists are just going to have to have millions and millions of tables, and we will whittle them down. But with the addition of, I want to make it as narrow focused as I can, just because I want to keep that whole Wavekin, Vilekin, Soulkin thing from the Final Fantasy XIV universe, just because it takes a whole family of creatures and puts them into a category without having to be like, oh, you have, red dragon blood. It's different than black dragon blood. No, it's dragonkin. It's fine. It's dragon blood. So, it's taking those big ideas and then whittling them down.
Making of it. You gotta make it simple enough for it to work well with the D&D class.
Mhm.
Like item manager, component management, something that spell classes can do if your DM says you can.
Well, not even if they say you can. It's if you have to.
If you have to.
If they
or
make you. If they
If
do.
they want you to, or if it's as simple as, I want you to use ingredients, you can just buy component pouches or have all your basic ingredients, the ones that have monetary costs, just use the money value kind of thing.
Exactly.
Which I think you could probably do with this class too,
Yeah,
depending on
absolutely.
how you want to play it.
Yep.
Josh, I'm sure, is going to be like, no, you actually have to fight a phoenix feather.
No. Well, I mean, yes, on certain things. I mean,
No, but yes.
there are certain.
To Christian.
Yes, there are certain things like resurrection spells and whatnot that do cost that diamond. Well, it is going to cost that diamond. You're not going to find that diamond in a component pouch of simple ingredients. That's just not going to happen.
But would you make him, would he have to obtain a phoenix feather, or could he pay the cost like you would for a diamond?
I mean, that all depends on what we decide as.
I don't know. I guess that's just like I said earlier, I have been holding back on some of those things because we haven't really encountered them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it's just...
You also haven't searched for the ingredients either, so...
Yeah. So for some things, especially, I would say in particular with the more complex... This is crazy because now we're getting into game design and I'm like, oh boy, this is what I fucking do.
This is my jam!
But yeah, no, I think it's just... Obviously all of these systems come down to like, when we get to the point where we can let y'all fucking play with them, you decide what's best for your group, right? But I just figure at least discovering them is important enough to kind of is sort of like the unlocking feature, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now you know how this stuff.
Now you how to obtain this ingredient. Yep.
So,
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially for ingredients that do big things like resurrection magic, which we've established in our campaign is not something that is common.
Mm-hmm.
And when things like that are not something that are common, then you should have to work hard to
Which I
also,
absolutely love. Sorry to go to the aside. The Final Fantasy, a little bit of lore. Maybe I'm teaching you a little bit on this one. In Final Fantasy lore, technically, and a lot of different directors have said this, when a character goes down, they're not dead. They're just at that like on death's door kind of area, just like going down in D&D. And one of the Phoenix Down items actually like revivify them. It brings them back up to a healthy,
That's kind of like in D&D when you go unconscious, you're not dead until you do your death saves, and healing will bring you back. But you need more potent magic to revive you, and it's harder, and it takes, a big cost. Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And that's where I was just thinking, like, we've got a few characters now that can use magic as a means to, like, bring back someone who
I think it's Milos, and you can do the spells, like the Phoenix Down potion.
I know Milos can. I thought you had some.
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Josh reworked me
Oh,
on
yeah.
Druid.
Okay, you lost those.
And it worked Milos into Druid.
Yeah, we swapped. I think we swapped.
You
when we
did.
were subclasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just going to finish up the idea on Christian's character here real quick. But with Alchemist, there's definitely still a lot more work that both of us need to do. And, I just wanted to make a basis for going forward. But, I mean, Final Fantasy has so many other items in it that, like, I tried to touch on, but you also have the fact that it's in D&D, and we also need some utility to what potions you can do and stuff like that. So we'll have to figure some things out, but I think at the time we're in a good position going forward, I would say.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
And because we're limiting ourselves to the confines of 5th edition
and D&D Beyond.
More specifically D&D Beyond, which has a lot of...
Yeah, we could make things as complicated as one as we pen and papered it, but it's a lot of management.
Yeah.
It's a lot of management to do things with pen and paper. I remember doing it that way, and it was a binder with, like, lists and spell
which isn't
cards.
bad.
And
Which isn't
it's not bad. It's not bad.
I prefer that.
It's not bad, and it's nice because there's physical thing to it, but I do like the simplicity of having it all on the computer.
So my Astro had like 26 pages printed out.
Yeah.
I still have my binder that I created for my first 5th edition character that has all of their abilities and all, like, I have an item, like, laminated item sheet, and, like, because I had the bag of holding in our campaign, so I had it all listed out and everything. And it's fun to see it, especially if you are the school supply kid and you like having school supplies and writing things down on paper and like
a new notebook, man. Just
yeah. So if you were the school supply kid, you might like pen and paper management, but the convenience of online is nice too.
Well, we have hit an hour.
Oh.
So
next,
I think we need to do our wrap up.
Yeah.
Oh man, it got away from us real quick.
They did. We got Josh on a tangent of subclasses.
But yeah, guys, so basically what it boils down to is last episode, they got their airship and they're on the way to Saffras. So make sure that you tune in. That way you know what is going down with these guys. And
We do not have a start date for season 2 yet.
not yet.
But it will
No.
probably be in, I would guess,
The fall.
the late fall at this point with Albany.
Hard to say. Because we're
It depends
currently
on when we finish up our
the
Monster
in-between.
of the Week season 2 campaign. So watch that. It's cool. And if you are like us millennials and a child of the 90s, you will like this season because there's so many 90s references already. So
Yeah.
many.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, for this Out of Character. Sorry about not having an episode 80, but make sure that you go to all of these socials down here. We also have to add in, we have a TikTok, we have Threads now, that's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure to go and follow us over there at Campaigns of the Plains. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you every time. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you know, I heard that if you
Thank you for tuning in to the Campaigns of the Plains channel. Catch new material every Friday on YouTube, and make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.